What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here. Yes, this is the same day. That's why you see me in this shirt once again. I'm actually waiting on my clothes to dry downstairs so I can get ready to go to work. Um, so this guy you see behind me, this is Chris from Casual Fragrances. If you don't know his channel, make sure you go over to Casual Fragrances, check him out. I am Mr. Cheap Sense once again. If you're not a subscriber to this particular channel, then make sure you take the time to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications. Icon opens up above the bell. Make sure you hit all so you get any and all content uploaded by me. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. And make sure you're active in the comment section. Now, the fragrance that I wore yesterday, and I actually gave it a full day's wearing. I sprayed this on about 10 something yesterday morning, and I said this in a video that Georgia Gent, aka Matt, is we did a few days ago. He actually gave me these two decants, and I gave my initial first impression in that video, and apparently people thought that me and Matt, or Matt and I should say it correctly, didn't give our honest opinion. I wanted to do this video on my own without Matt being here, because sometimes I come off in a way that I don't think most people are comfortable with. I don't care about offending people or making people feel some type of way. It doesn't bother me. I tell it like it is. Whether people believe me or not, that's up to them. Whether you think I'm a liar, whether you think I'm telling the truth, that's your opinion. It is what it is. The fragrance I talked about in that video, well, it was two. One actually is from Steven over at Redolessence. If you don't know Steven from Redolessence, go over and check out his channel. This is his fragrance line that he just started. I think it's called Navitus or Navitus, something like that. The first fragrance I smelled is this one, and it's kind of hard to see the name on it, but it's called Primas, Primas. And if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, Steven, but it is what it is. In that video, before I even got a good whiff of it and I sprayed it, the first thing that came out of my mouth is, why does this smell like? This was even before we even started the video. I said, why does this smell like Aventus? And the opening, to me, my personal opinion, is this smells almost identical to Aventus. Now, the dry down, to me, is no good. I don't know what that scent is. It almost is like an animalic or some kind of chemical type smell. I don't like it. My friend, she actually likes the dry down. She didn't like the opening. And that's from a female. Personally speaking, this is not for me. I did actually wear this all day. The sprays that I gave myself, I think it was, I want to say 7 sprays of this. And it actually, performance-wise, lasted 8+ hours on me without me even having to reapply. No lie. Now, projection was about 2 hours. I don't care what nobody else says. If you get less than that from this fragrance, if you get more than that, that is what I got from this. Performance is not the issue for me with this fragrance. It's the dry down. I don't know what smell that is, what chemical, what note that they used in this. It does not smell good to me. I don't like the dry down. The opening is good, but once again, like I said in the last video that Georgia Gent and I did, another Aventus thing. And I don't know why people can't get away from Aventus. I understand that it's crowd pleasing, it's mass appealing, it's all of these things. But I just need people to be more creative when it comes to fragrances. I know a lot of things have been done already. A lot of people are scared to do something different because change isn't taken well. You know how you go to work every day. And it's pretty much always, depending on what job you do, it's the same routine every single day. You get up, you do your routine at home, you wash, you brush your teeth, you know, whatever you do, you get your clothes ready. If you don't do it the day before or the night before, you go to work, you clock in if you have to clock in, you go to your desk or you go to your area, you get your equipment ready or whatever it is you do. You go to your station, you go to your cubicle, you go to your desk, your area, whatever it is that you do. And it's the same thing every single day. I think that's what we're used to. We're used to, this is the era that we're in right now. We're in the Ambroxan era, and I think it's starting to transition. But Blue Day Chanel does their thing. It's mass appealing, crowd pleasing, yada, yada, yada. And then Sauvage. And now everything has to have that Ambroxan note in it. Everything has to have that Creed Aventus, that pineapple. Anytime anybody smells a fragrance and it smells like pineapple, or it has that Creed Aventus DNA or vibe to it, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you smell it, is Creed Aventus. So I get it. It's people's comfort zone. You think, okay, just because this has a Creed Aventus vibe to it, that people are going to buy it. They're going to run off to it. First thing I thought of is not again. Not again. And this, my opinion in this video right here is not that much different than what I said in the video with Georgia Gent and I did. I still get an Aventus vibe, in which I didn't care for. I like the opening on the fragrance, but I don't care for it because it's another Creed smelling fragrance. The dry down doesn't smell anything like Creed. I didn't like it. It smelled too harsh. It was too chemical smelling, animalic kind of. My friend, she actually liked the dry down. She just didn't like the opening. But what people wanted me to do was, people wanted me to come on here and drag Steven's name through the mud. And I'm not going to do that. I only tell my side of the story. I don't care what other people's opinion is about this fragrance. I personally don't care for it. Now, Absolution, I think, is the name of this one, in which I can't really read it because it's kind of smeared out, as you can see. I like this one. It's sweet. It's right up my alley. It's what I like in a fragrance. I haven't worn this yet, so I can't give my full opinion on this yet. But I can say, off of just smelling it through the atomizer, I like it better than Primas. Steven, if you see this video, kudos to you for stepping out on faith and doing your own thing, starting your own brand, your own line. Same thing with Jeremy Fragrance. Jeremy might not be at the top of my list as far as reviewers. I don't even think I'm subscribed to his channel anymore, just because of how he comes off as egotistical and stuff like that. But I give him credit, because while all of us are sitting here, and most of us, not me, but most of us are judging these people for what they're doing, we're sitting at home and we're not doing nothing but going to our same old hamster wheel job every single day. These guys are out living their lives, living their best lives, and we're doing what we're doing, which most of us aren't doing nothing. I'm one of them. I'm one of those guys who are very afraid to step out on faith and try to do something with himself. I would much rather struggle, and I know this is going to sound retarded, than to step out on faith and risk it all and be homeless or whatever, in which I've been there before, rather than stepping out and trying to find a job that's going to pay me buku money and doing something different. We want to continue to do the same things. I understand that people don't want to take the time to come up with something new. Like Ashton from Gent Sense reviewed, he did some kind of review. I just watched it earlier, and Gucci Guilty Absolute was a fragrance he talked about, which is totally different from the rest of the Gucci Guilty line, that, you know, those freshies and sweet fragrances or whatever. Absolute is one of the fragrances I purchased from TJ Maxx. And something was like, before you open this, go to Ulta and smell it. And I went to Ulta and I smelled it. And at that particular point, I did not like it. It was too medicinal. It was too strong. It was too harsh. Like, I didn't like it at all. And I took it back to TJ Maxx and got my money back. I smelled it again, like some time later, like months later. And I actually kind of like it now. But those are the type fragrances that don't get love, that don't get play, that don't get bought, or don't get the spotlight because it's not the norm. The norm is Ambroxan right now. The norm is people are getting into oud and stuff like that. Nobody wants to venture out and do something different. They want to stick to the same guideline. Okay, we're going to do an Ambroxan fragrance. We're going to do that Creed Aventus type thing, and people are going to love it and whatever. Hey, it is what it is. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. Steven hasn't sent me not one thing from his line. These two fragrances, like I said, came from Matt over at Georgia Gent. And he gave these to me in the video. So I'm not persuaded. Even when somebody gives me something, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is the greatest fragrance ever. When George Zaharoff sent me the sample, not this, but he sent me the sample, I liked it from the beginning. Even when he sent me this bottle, I tried to find something about this fragrance I didn't like. I wore it to work. It lasted 8+ hours on me. And I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I liked the scent. It smelled great. I may not have gotten a lot of compliments when I wore it, but I didn't find a fault or a flaw in this fragrance at all. Now, there are some people out there who might be able to pick this apart because they don't like certain things about this fragrance. I get it. I'm not on that level. So when I smell something, I can just tell you whether off the first spray, whether I like it or not. If I spray something and it doesn't smell good to me, I'm just going to say straight up, it don't smell good to me. But what I won't do is I won't drag Steven. I won't drag Jeremy. I won't drag anybody like that. I'm not going to do it. So it just is what it is. If y'all don't like the way I do my reviews, if y'all don't like my reviews, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. I did not like Primas. Simple as that. I said that before, and my opinion on it didn't change. Performance is pretty damn good. It's average to just above average, I'll say. But that dry down is where he lost me. He actually lost me in the opening with that Aventus vibe, but he actually really lost me on the dry down. I don't know what that is. It's just not for me. And Absolution, I guess the name of it, is one I'm going to do next in the next day or so. So stay tuned for that. People need to stop getting so butthurt when it comes to fragrances. Fragrances are subjective. I understand some people are going to like some things. Some people aren't going to like some things. But for people to get bent out of shape about it, that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not going to drag somebody just because somebody else, just because the rest of the world don't like Jeremy fragrance doesn't mean that I'm going to trash him just because everybody else don't like him. Oh, that makes me not popular now all of a sudden. You don't want to watch my video because I say his fragrance smells good. Office for Men to me smells good. But it smells like everything else out there with the Ambroxan, with the sharpness. It smells like everything else. Just another freshie. Date for Men smelled good to me. A lot of people didn't like it. Some people don't like it. I like it. If you like Ultramall, then you're gonna like Date for Men. It's not that much different, but I'm not gonna pay that price for something that smells like Ultramall when you can get Ultramall for a cheaper price. That's what I don't like about Jeremy's fragrances. It's because they're over-marketed, they're overpriced. But that's my personal opinion. So, Steven from Redolessence, Mr. Smelly, I think he has a fragrance out, Gravitus, or Gravitas, something like that. I can't remember the name of it. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But He has this fragrance line out, or fragrance out. I haven't gotten my nose on it. I wish I could, but it is what it is. But kudos to Steven from Redolessence, Jeremy Fragrance, and everybody else out there who has a fragrance line or a fragrance out there. Hey, you stepped out on faith. You're trying to do your thing. Everybody out here with all that hating and all that crap they got going on, don't worry about it. Keep doing your thing. Another thing I want to mention before I get off of this video is I saw somewhere, I think it was Facebook, somebody posted a picture and it was a decant bottle and it had a sticker on it and it had Steven's name of his fragrance. I can't remember which one it was. And at the bottom it had either by Armaf or Armaf on the sticker. I don't know if Armaf had a hand in Steven's fragrance line. I don't know if they did the packaging, the bottles, made the fragrance. I don't know what it is. If it's true, I don't know. The person you would have to ask that question to is Steven. Don't be all on social media with all these guesstimations that you're thinking that, oh, well, Steven is dealing with Armaf. Armaf did. I wouldn't give a damn if Purina Dogchild had a hand in his fragrance. It doesn't affect me not one bit. I didn't purchase it. If it's over $100, of course I'm not going to purchase it. So that's not my thing. I don't purchase high expensive fragrances. That's not me. That's for anybody who can afford it. Right now, I can't. So it is what it is. But whether Armaf had anything to do with Steven's fragrance, I don't know. Ask Steven. Stop all the speculation, y'all. That's ridiculous. Why not go to the source instead of speculating or guessing or asking somebody who absolutely don't even know? These internet warriors out there who's getting all this fake information or information that might not even be true, and people are just believing whatever the internet puts out there instead of asking the man himself. I'm pretty sure if you message him, he would probably respond. But it is what it is. I'm out of here, y'all. Here is to Smelling Great, Scent Nation in the background. I'm out. Peace.